Hello everyone, this is Elizabeth. Welcome back to Live, Craft, and Love. First and foremost, I want to thank the subscribers that I have now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In this past 1 week, I went from having like 4 subscribers to almost 60. And to me, I have to tell you, that is so exciting. I did not realize that that many people would actually be interested in my channel, or that I'm doing a decent job with this. But thank you, thank you, thank you for those of you who have subscribed. Please continue to share my channel, tell your friends. It feels just amazing knowing that sometimes when you do things on your own crafty things, you know, other people do like your ideas. So some of you commented on some of the videos that you wanted me to share on how I did some of the embellishments. So I decided to do kind of like build your own stash type of playlist. So the first one that I'm going to do is going to be the handmade rose I made, and that rose came out in this Prima doll tag that I did, this one right here, and this rose right here I made myself. Now I did share that tutorial I actually found from Frances from your book of memories, so I'm going to link her tutorial down below. I did tweak mine a little bit just to kind of help myself out because I could not get it to do it the way she did, as pretty as she did. So I just, you know, messed around a little bit and did my own thing for part of it. Other than that, hope you like the tutorial. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Share it with your friends, and here we go. Now, the way I did it, I know Frances in her tutorial had her using some paper punches. Now I don't have very many paper punches, like I said. I'm just starting with this whole crafting thing, so I don't have very many materials like as far as punches are concerned, but I do have a Cricut. So what I did is I went on Google and I googled, you know, retro flower, 5-petal retro flowers, what I googled, and I found a blank image, and I went ahead and cut this out using my Cricut. It's about a 2-inch diameter flower, has 5 petals. If you can see there, 5 petals, and I think the description that I googled was retro flower. That you are going to need 3 of those papers, or 3 of those punches. Now if you have this punch, then by all means use it. The other one is I did Google 6-petal flower, and this is the image that I came up with. I know there is an EK Success punch out there that looks exactly like this. This is about a 1.5-inch diameter. But I don't have the punches, so I Googled it, downloaded the image, and I used my Cricut to cut it out. So this one's the second paper punch that you're going to need. You're also going to need 3 of these punches, 3 of these papers. Now it would be beneficial for you to get a double-sided paper. I mean, it would work with the single-sided, but you will get a lot of the white part of the paper showing. Double-sided would just give you much more of a finished, prettier look. The paper that I'm using today is actually from this paper pan by Prima, the Cherry Blossom paper pan, and as you can tell, I've been using it quite a bit. And the 2 pages that I'm using is this one that has like this kind of like design on it with the back with just flowers, and this one that has a bunch of cherry blossoms with butterflies and then a marbleized white look in the back. So as you can see, this is where I cut it out from my Cricut, and that's where I cut out these images from my Cricut. So that is where I got it from. Now to start the flower, I am going to use my 3 smaller 1.5-inch diameter papers, paper punch flowers, and I'm going to stack them up together. Next thing you're going to do is in between each little loop, you're going to cut a slit, not all the way to the middle, but close to it in between each of the loops. So if you can see there, that is up to where I cut. And you're going to do this all around the entire flower, and it's simply just going to make it a little bit easier to work with. So there you go. Now I have my 3 flower punches cut so that way the petals are kind of separated. Now you can use any tool that has a rounding corner. I'm going to try and use my scoring tool, but all you're simply going to do is get your petal and you're going to roll it in between your round edge. It could be a pen, it could be the handle of a paintbrush, anything just to get the petals to go ahead and get a little rounded look to them. So you're going to do that on all the petals. You should have 6 of them in total for each flower. So you see how it kind of rounds it out a little bit. And then in the middle, you're going to get it, and I just kind of do that deal so that way it can cup a little bit. See that? Kind of cupped it. So you're going to repeat this process for the other 2 flowers. Now, you don't have to be super precise as far as it being right, you know, dab in the middle. All you got to do is just make sure that the petal itself is curved inward, because you are going to be gluing these petals to each other, and you're going to be using these to create the bud in the middle. So you do the closer they are to cupping each other, the easier it's going to be to, you know, attach that glue to the petals. You're going to continue to do this all the way around. I really hope that, you know, you can see exactly what I'm doing. You're going to curve it. Oops. Now, like I said, you don't have to be oops, there it goes. You don't have to be completely like exact, as long as it curves. So there you go. There's the last of it. And do the middle part. Now the next part is a little tricky for me. I always end up burning myself, but I'm going to try my best to try and do it on camera. Now you see how it has 6 flowers. You're going to get the 2 opposite end petals. For example, like here, I'm going to get the top petal and the bottom petal, and I'm going to glue them together just like that, if you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add hot glue here and then hot glue on the other edge and wrap the opposite petal around it, so that way it can make like the middle of the rosebud, and the tighter you get it, the better. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get my glue gun, put some glue there. Come on, glue gun. There and there. And now I'm going to get this and wrap it around and just hold on to it there as much as you can. Hopefully you don't burn yourself. And there you go. You see? There's the middle of the rosebud. Now the other ones, I always like doing it opposite. So if I'm going to adhere this petal right here, I'm going to adhere the opposite end petal too. So here, again, same thing. You're going to put glue along the edges of the petal and wrap it around. I always keep my bottom finger at the bottom base of the rosebud, so that way it gives it that flat look at the bottom, because you are going to glue this onto another petal. So now I'm going to get the opposite end petal, same thing, glue on the sides, and wrap that around, and do it one more time with the remaining petals. You see how they're kind of still opposite ended right there? I don't know if you can see it. There you go. How it's opposite ended. So that I will go ahead and just glue that now. Wrap it around and do it one more time to the last petal, just like that. See? So now you have, oops, I have glue all over my finger. Now you have your little rosebud. Now you're going to adhere this to these now. You're going to put glue at the very bottom. You should have somewhat of a flat bottom, and you're going to adhere this to the middle of this petal. So there you go. Right perfectly in the middle. Now here, this is where I ended up doing something a little bit on the different side. I went in order when it comes to wrapping these, and make sure that when you put glue on it, you're putting glue just at the base of the petal, not all the way around, because you are going to fold these a little. So I start with any petal you choose, and the next petal you're going to be going like in a circle, clockwise or counterclockwise. Just make sure one is overlapping over the other. And I usually just put glue on only 2 petals at a time because I do this slow, so I don't want the glue to dry and it be bulky. So you see how I'm wrapping one, and then the other one goes around that one, overlapping it. And then I'm going to do this to the next 2. Put glue there, wrap it there, and put that there. So now you see I have a little bit of a bigger flower. Here, this is where I do something a little different. I'm going to get my tweezers all ready, and I'm going to get the edge of my flaps right there, if you can see it. And I'm just going to pull this back, kind of like roll it back, because that's the petal that's sticking out. And do the same thing all the way around. Get it and roll it out. And roll it out. Get it and roll it out. And get the last one in there and roll that out. Now, to make it a little bit more rounder, you could get your scoring tool and you can get this and kind of run it through your thumb just like that, so it can get the little curve at the petal instead of just the little bent with the tweezers. And this is what I saw that I enjoyed doing this a little bit better. It gave me more of a rounded look to my rose. So then now I'm left with that. See that? Now, same thing. The base of this rosebud, I'm going to glue to the next and last 6-petal flower, right in the middle again. Okay, so now you have that. Same process. You're going to put glue at the base of each petal and adhere it a little bit up, and you are going to squish a little bit of those petals, which is fine. See that? So then now glue right here and adhere that up, which you are kind of squashing those petals that you rolled, but that's okay. It's still going to give it that open look at the very end. Just watch. Glue that there. Next one. I really hope I'm in frame here. This is the first kind of like semi-tutorial that I'm ever doing, so you guys be honest with me. Okay, next 2 petals, 1 and 2. That one overlaps that, and that overlaps that. So there you go. Hold it nice and tight. See how it's kind of looking like the middle of a rose now? Now you're going to repeat the same process. I usually use my tweezers first to kind of lift the petal up, and then I'll go back in with my scoring tool. So I'm just going to bend it back, bend this back, and so forth all along the edges. Bend it. Oops, slipping on me there. So then I'm going to get that right there, and that should be it. So now again, I'm going to go back in with my scoring tool and kind of give it a round look to the petal. A round look with just moving it along in between my thumb and this and the paper. Now, if you see that some of these petals kind of got really squished, you can go back in there with your tweezers and kind of give them a little bit of volume and lift them up a bit. Oh my gosh, it fell down again. Give it a little bit of volume. So now you got the little wave going on inside that rose. So you see, that's the end result. That's the inner layer of the rose right there. Now I'm going to put this to a side. Now you have your 5-petal retro flowers that you have left. Same process as the other ones. You're going to get it and you're going to pinch your round tool, whatever you decide to use, in between the petals. I like rolling it just so that way I can get the little roll feel to it in each of the petals. Give it a little volume right there. Roll it and roll it. Now with these, I do like to kind of pinch them a little bit, just like that. Give it a pinch look. And again, in the middle, I'm going to get my scoring tool, or, you know, the tip of a ballpoint pen, anything round, kind of give it a little indentation in the middle again. Now this time I'm going to get my scoring tool. You are going to need something round for this part. And you're going to get the edge, and you're going to get the scoring tool and the flower petal between, you're going to get the flower petal between the round tool and your thumb, and you're going to flip it outward just to kind of give the petal a little outward look. So you're going to get it, and you're going to do that to it. You see there? It kind of did that little roundness right here on the petal. So you're going to do that for all the petals that you have there, all 5 of them. Now the thicker the cardstock or the design paper that you're using, the better. And then I'm going to go back in again and give it a little bit of an indentation in the middle, and there you go. That is what you're going to go for all 3 of the 5 petal flowers. So you're going to repeat this 2 more times with these 2 papers. Go back in there, roll the design paper. Now this is my first time I'm ever doing some form of a tutorial on my channel. I've always admired everybody who does tutorials. I find it so phenomenal how everybody can just get up here and show others how to craft. And it's kind of ironic because I am a teacher. So I'm always in front of the classroom with my students and teaching them how to do things. It's just so different when you're in front of a camera in your craft room and you're trying to show others how to do things. It's such a small angle, just like through the tiny little screen on the camera. So if at any case I'm not doing a great job, or you have some tips or tricks for me, you know, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to take everything into consideration, just so that way I can get a little bit better at this. If I'm not doing that bad of a job, you know, go ahead and leave comments on that too. I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, no, I'm used to teaching. I'm used to showing kids how to do things. It's just kind of different when you're trying to show adults how to craft. This is not, you know, you're reading math and science type of thing. So then, yeah, there you go. Just rolling that petal a little bit more. And now indenting the middle with my scoring tool. Now, if you have a rubber mat, like an embossing mat, you can use that too instead of your hand. Like I said, I just don't have all the materials that a lot of people do, so I'm improvising here. So now you have your 3 petals, and all you're going to do is you're going to lay each one on top of the other, overlaying, kind of staggering them just like this. You see how they're kind of overlaying them to form a flower that looks like that. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get your base petal, add some hot glue right in the middle. You get your next petal and overlay it just a tad, not completely in between the 2 petals, just overlaid there. And again, I always go back in with my round edge, my scoring tool, just to make sure that that depth is there. It makes your flower pop up a little bit more. So you see, they are completely over on top of each other. Now same thing, put glue right in the middle and get my last petal. And now this one I am going to put in the middle of the last 2 flowers, right in the middle, just so stagger them. So now the entire bottom is completely covered with petals. Go down in there. Now be careful, because right here I can feel the heat of the glue gun or the glue, but it's not to the point where it's burning me. So it all depends on what kind of glue gun you're using. So there you go. That is the base of the rose. Now all that's left is getting your bud that you made and adhering it to the middle of your flower, just like that. So now I'm going to get this base and add some glue, good amount of glue, make sure it doesn't move, and put it right in the middle, just like that. And I do tend to kind of cut my flower just to make sure that it, again, it gives a little bit of volume and dimension. Just like that, just like so. And now you can kind of work your petals a little bit here and there to get the look that you desire. Now right now my paper's a little bit flimsy from all the rolling and the pinching I've been doing on it, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What does help, what I found that does help, is adding stickles or glitter glue to the edges of your rose. It kind of hardens it a little bit, makes it a little bit more sturdy. So you see I'm kind of working my petals to go where I want them to go. Once I'm happy with the look that I want, then I'm going to go ahead and go in there with some glitter glue. Now I don't have actual stickles. I got some glitter glue from the Michael's dollar bin, and so far it's been working pretty good. I don't necessarily think it's as good as stickles, but hey, it works. So there you go. There is the paper rose, and I'm going to go in. See, this is the glitter glue, Studio G glitter glue. I'm going to go in and just the edges of the petals, starting with the outer ones. I'm just going to go around with the glitter glue as much as you like. You don't have to do it in every petal. I do just because, like I said, I feel as it gives it a little bit more of a sturdiness to it. And it's not as flimsy as it would be since it is paper. And it's design paper, so it's not as heavy as, 110-pound cardstock. But I like the pattern in the flowers, especially if you're using like a dark background or a solid color background and you want a little bit more of diversity in your page. I think this two-sided design paper is like perfect. So there, I have all the outside. Now, I have glue all over the place. Sorry about that. Now, I am going to go in to the edges of the rose, of these petals. Just in the edges, not really down deep in there, just in the edges, with the glitter glue. And there you go. Pretty much it. And then in the middle, just do a little circle there of stickles. And there you have it. That is your final result, your end result with the paper flower. And all you got to do is just set it down there so that way it can dry. Now I really hope this actually was an okay tutorial. Again, like I said, this is the very first one I've ever done. I know a couple of people wanted to know how I did my roses, and that's pretty much how I did them. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment below. Any tips, any tricks, anything that will, help me out, or something that I did well, anything at all. Leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you all next time. Big hugs. Bye.